This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be? For me, your man, Louie T. Welcome. You are here on lockdown coverage. Your man Louie T is covering the entire National Football League like a blanket. Week 2 coverage. Arizona Cardinals smothering and strangling and hiding the body of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out in the desert. Nobody will find them. This was a beatdown of epic proportions, and you kind of felt like this was a statement game for both teams involved. At least I did. Can't speak for you guys out there, but it was for me. And I was really paying close attention to this game. Really disappointed in the outcome for one, and really excited about the outcome for the other. I'll jump into the breakdown here in a second, but before I do, if this is your first time here, welcome to the Louie Tee Network, and subscribe to the Louie Tee Network on YouTube for more great content in 2016 and beyond. As I continue to expand my horizons, I'm on social media. If you're on Twitter, guess what? So am I. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Give me a follow there. Also, I'm on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Thumbs up. Go ahead and like the page so you can be in tune to what's going on the Louie Tee Network. Now, let's jump into this breakdown. And when it's a beatdown like this, I handle blowouts a little differently than I do competitive football games. All right. I don't do dislikes, banana in the tailpipe for blowouts. It's just too much work. You don't get that kind of attention when an ass whooping takes place. I do something I like to call what I saw from afar. So this is essentially what I saw from afar in this football game. Start with the Buccaneers. I thought this moment was too big for them. And I thought they put a lot of pressure on themselves to come out and perform in a big spot. And this was a big spot. This was a little bit of a test for them, okay? Measuring stick game, if you will, in week number 2. You go on the road, you beat a family member in the Falcons, a team you've owned over the last 2 seasons. You swept them last year. You beat them in week 1 in their building. You feel good about it. You score 31 points. You take your foot off the gas pedal. Probably could have scored 40 if you wanted to in that game. But okay, 31 was good enough to win, so that's where you stayed. And you feel good about what you've done. Jameis Winston has a command of this offense in year 2 of Dirk Cutter's offense, and you think, okay, we may have something here. Now let's try our hand at a real team in the NFC, the Arizona Cardinals, a team that was in the NFC Championship game a season ago. Let's try our hand at them and see how we do in their building. And they came out flat. Jameis Winston was off the mark early, couple of early turnovers, really turned this game upside down. Doug Martin gets injured, leaves the game early, and they really just never got their feet under them in this football game. Before you knew it, you looked up, it was 24-0 at the halftime break. It wasn't much better in the second half. Too many mistakes by this Buccaneers football team. And so I thought they had a situation where this moment was just too much for them. They're not ready for the big stage and the bright lights just yet. They're a young football team. Make no mistake about it. And they proved their youth in this game. They went up against a veteran, a battle-tested football team in the Arizona Cardinals with essentially their backs up against the wall, losing at home to a Patriots team they had no business losing to. You can't start the season 0-2 with 2 home game and 2 home losses. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, you went to the NFC Championship game last season. That can't happen. And so they came out with a sense of urgency. They jumped this Buccaneers team before the Buccaneers knew what hit them. It was 40-7, and this game was over. Let's look at it from the standpoint of the Cardinals. I thought they went out and they made some plays. And remember, we talked about this Cardinals team last Sunday on Sunday Night Overtime. And the biggest takeaway from the game that I talked about and everybody else, including the Cardinals fans themselves, talked about was we need to clean up the secondary. We got to do something. And the Cardinals fans kept saying, We got Marcus Cooper. We're getting him up to speed. He needs to play more. Well, we saw Marcus Cooper. He did play more, and he had a profound impact on this football game. If you can get that type of performance from Marcus Cooper moving forward, this Cardinals defense is going to be lights out, because that's going to give you a little bit more confidence to be a little bit more aggressive. They were aggressive against Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you saw what that produced. Now, if Winston was on target in this game, if he was more accurate, that could have led to some issues because guys were open in this game, but he was off. The pressure got to him. Marcus Cooper with 2 picks in this game. Patrick Peterson with an early pick in this game. Probably could have easily had another, dropped it, hit him right in his hands. They were dominant in this game where the Arizona Cardinals forced 4 interceptions of Jameis Winston, ran one of them back for a touchdown. They took it to this Buccaneers team. They stretched the field deep. Jerron Brown had a big touchdown grab before the half to really put this game out of reach. Larry Fitzgerald is Larry Fitzgerald, and he did his thing. Good to see them spreading the football around. I would have loved to have seen them run the football a little bit more effectively in this game. However, when the passing game is working, sometimes I think the Cardinals can be a little pass happy. There was one instance where they had the football like 1st and goal from the 1 after a pass interference penalty in the end zone, and they threw it 3 consecutive times. Now, the final time resulted in a touchdown to Michael Floyd in the back of the end zone, but it was almost a situation where they went 1, 2, 3 and out, all passes, and would have had to make a tough decision on 4th down to kick a field goal or to go for it on 4th down. Sometimes I think Bruce Arians and company can get a little pass happy out there. When you got a couple of stud backs in the backfield and Johnson, sometimes it's okay to turn around and hand the football off. But other than that, I thought this was a dominant performance, start to finish, by the Arizona Cardinals. 40-7, great bounce back win for them. It gets them to 1-1 on the season, and more importantly, it reinserts them as a dominant football team in this league. And not to say that 2 weeks of football is going to anoint anyone dominant in this league, but they needed a bounce back game, and they got that at home against an upstart Bucs team that thought they were ready. They put them back in their place and told them, hey, man, you got a long way to go, man. How about you go sit down, have a seat. You keep playing with the young fellas back there. We'll let you know when you're ready to play with the big boys. That is not now. And the Buccaneers had to find that out the hard way in this football game. 40-7, Buccaneers are throttled in Arizona in the desert. Like I said, they were strangled and smothered in the desert and buried for no one to find their bodies. It's tough to go into the desert and get a win. That's what makes what the Patriots were able to do so impressive, because it's tough out there in the desert. A lot of people come to the desert, but most don't leave with W's. Buccaneers get throttled 40-7. Back to the drawing board. It's okay. It's only one loss. It only counts as one if you're the Buccaneers. Pick yourself up. Dust yourself off. You won't see the caliber of opponent that you saw in the Arizona Cardinals most weeks. So that should be reassuring. And the next time you see an opponent of that caliber, maybe you will be more mentally prepared to take on that challenge. You just weren't up to the task in this football game. So that's going to do it for... I think I got a comment before I go. Dana Elmore says, no Dougie fresh. V-Jack's not showing up. Shaking my damn head. It was rough. V-Jax was non-existent in this game. And to be honest with you, he's been pretty non-existent. I didn't think he had that big of an impact in week 1. I thought that was Mikey and a little sprinkle of ASJ with that big catch. I didn't think that V-Jax was that big of an impact last week. I want to see him get more involved in this offense, and I didn't see that in this game either. Until they really unleash V-Jax, I think you're not unlocking the full potential of that offense. They need to spread it around a little bit more till they're able to do that. I like Humphries. I like what he brings to the table in the slot, but until you get that other big dog on the outside and V-Jax going, I don't think you're unlocking the full potential of this Buccaneers offense. That being said, Dana Elmore with another comment. We'll let you know how ready we are, Lou. LOL. We'll see. We'll see. They were not up to the task in week 2 versus the Arizona Cardinals. All right, that's going to do it for Lockdown Coverage, week 2 edition. Arizona Cardinals at home, taking it to the Tampa Bay Bucs, 40-7. Big win for the Cardinals. A little bit of a letdown for the Buccaneers, but again, They'll be back. This is a young team. You get letdowns like this with young football teams. I expect them to use this as a lesson and help them get better in their journey as a young football team. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. This has been another edition of Lockdown Coverage. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I will see you next time. Have a good one. Had a doozy of a ball game. 9-3. 12 whole points scored out in L.A. I'll be back with that breakdown shortly. Have a good one. See you next time.